Okay, then we're done with page 3, on to page 4. All right, I'm going to click on cell A5 here for beginning balance. And we're going to get into some fairly complex formulas here. Just kind of hang on for the ride here. All right, so beginning balance, we talked about this amortization schedule. And over the years, we're going to watch our balance, or the amount that we owe the bank, dwindle over time. And for you and your significant other, this is going to be like your public enemy number one. Any way I can throw money at this balance I owe the bank, and the quicker I can become debt free, the more I can use my money for something else. And you're talking to someone who has been debt free for 15 years, and it's been a wonderful thing. Okay, so in cell F5, all right, I'm going to say equals a beginning balance is going to equal D8, my loan amount. So I start out owing the bank, hitting my enter button up here, start out owing the bank $404,000. Let's slide over to cell J5, okay? And we're going to use something called the present value function here. Present value. This is the time value of money projected into the future. I'm going to come here to my function wizard, insert function. Let's go find PV and go. PV for present value. All right. And here we go. Let's see, my rate. And we're just going to click right on the cell here rather than typing in the address. I'm going to click on cell F4. My rate is F4 divided by 12, which we did before, correct? My periods is going to be 12 times, left parenthesis, F5, total number of years, minus whatever year I'm in. In this case, H5. Right parenthesis. PEMDAS again. Okay. After year 1, you can see we have 168 months left. Total number of years in the term minus whatever year I'm currently in times 12 will tell you how many payments you have left for your ending balance. Payment, I'm going to say minus, payment being minus being negative, or money going out, minus my monthly payment. Okay, all right. And that tells me that at the end of that first year, my ending balance is going to be $383,000. Click OK. And by the way, FV and type have to do with payments at the end. You're making payments at the beginning again. And because those are not bold, they're not required, optional, we're just going to skip those. Okay? All right. Now, I'm not quite done yet, because what happens if my ending balance goes into negative? Like I go beyond the, maybe I make payments quicker or something like that. I don't want to have some weird sort of model here. So we're actually going to use a conditional formula here with the if function. Let's go up here and highlight up in the formula bar, drag all the way over and grab all of that present value function we just created, and hit Control X to cut. Okay, so it's sitting out there on the clipboard. Let's backspace out the equal sign. And let's go and click on my insert function. Because again, our goal here is not to have a negative balance for our ending balance. That would be really weird. If function down here. Again, we did this last chapter. If, then, else. I love these. If was something I used a lot in industry. It was probably my 4th favorite function. Okay, logical test. Logical test. Is my current year H5, is it greater than or equal to F5, my term? Now, because I could have a term of like 10 years, okay? And that would kind of make things kind of weird. Is H5, my current year, less than or equal to the term? Well, if it's true, then I'm going to end up with some sort of ending balance for that year, okay? If that is true, then, remember we stuck that formula, that present value formula out there on the clipboard. If that's true, I'm going to paste that back. Control V, paste it back at $383,000. If it's false, then I've run out of time. I don't have any years left, So my ending balance is going to be 0. Okay? All right. Let's slide over to K5, paid on principal. When we say principal, we're talking about the amount that we owe the bank at any point in time. So of the payments I make in that first year, how much actually went to paying my debt down? Well, that's just simply equal sign I5 minus J5, my beginning balance minus my ending balance. Check mark, enter button. Interest paid. How much extra did I pay the bank? In L5, I'm again come over here to my insert function, fire up my if function. Okay. I'm going to say if I5, my beginning balance, because in order to have interest paid, you have to have some sort of a balance. The beginning balance has to be greater than 0. If for some reason we've paid off our loan, we don't have any more interest to pay. So if our beginning balance is greater than 0, then we're going to take 12 times our monthly payment, don't forget PEMDAS, minus my paid on principal. In other words, 12 times my monthly payment would be all the payments that I'm making, and whatever I'm not making as paid on principal is going to be interest. All right? If I've run out of years and I5 is not less than 0, excuse me, my beginning balance is not greater than 0, sorry, my value would be 0. I don't have any interest paid because I don't have any balance. Okay? And there you can see I've got 15,298 over there, plus change. Hit the enter button. All right, that was a lot of stuff there. Okay? That was a lot of heavy lifting in those formulas. Now understand that we don't have to do that all over again to recreate the wheel. Okay? All right. Let's do some copying here. I'm going to select, let's get it look like nonsense just for a second. I'm going to select J5 through L5, that range where we created those formulas. Use your fill handle, drag down, whoops, not that far, Reardon. Okay? And let's do fill without formatting. Nice. Okay. You're like, that looks really weird. Yes, it does. However, let's come over to cell I6. Year 2, what's my beginning balance? What's the ending balance of year 1? So I'm just going to say equals J5. Enter button. Okay. And we can just fill handle that down all the way down. I might say, just for laughs, fill without formatting. Okay? And there's our amortization schedule, which shows us each year our balance, or the amount that we owe the bank, is going down over time. And you'll notice it's actually going down at an increasing rate. It's decreasing at an increasing rate, which means we're paying off more incrementally over time here. All right, which I think is true, except for the very end. Okay, all right. So here's our ending balance. This is the amount that we're paying on principal, or the amount we're actually paying our debt down. Here's the interest paid, or that extra payment we're making for using the bank's money. And notice in year 1, you're almost paying as much against interest as you are for how much you're actually paying your debt down. If the interest rate was even higher, sometimes you're paying very little on principal for the amount that you actually owe, and most of it's going toward interest, and it's really frustrating until you start getting traction with this kind of stuff. Okay, let's go down to cell K20. I'm going to select K through L, both of those, K20 through L20. Let's hit auto sum to add all those up. And of course, our interest paid should match this number over here, and my paid on principal should match my loan amount, correct? Let's go to cell L21 for down payment equals, click over on D7, my down payment check mark, and the total cost of my dream home is going to be equals K20 total amount paid plus paid on principal, plus my down payment. Those three things. And I end up again breaking down my $648,000 dream house, which again matches that number over here in my mortgage payment calculator. Okay, very nice. All right, let's select the range C4 through F8. Okay, and I can right click on that range and say Format Cells. I'm going to go to my Border tab. Here we're getting kind of fancy. Color, I'm going to say green accent 2. That's not, there you go, green accent 2. All right. I'm going to do a medium border, which is in column 2, row 5. That style right there. A little bit thicker. I'm going to say outline. There you can see from my diagram what that's going to look like, and I'm done with page 4 there. Click OK. Okay, that puts a nice little border around those. Let's select C12 through C22. All right. See, are we done with the borders there? Medium borders, vertical line. Oh, I forgot something. Sorry about that. I just messed up. Okay, let's go back to my right-click, Format Cells, back to my border. Okay, I forgot the vertical line. So vertical line, that's going to be the small guy right here, column 1, row 7. Okay, and my vertical line is going to go right in the middle of my cells to kind of divide them with that same color. And click OK. And there you go. They're nice and formatted. All right. Now we're on to number 5. Select C12 through C22. What we're going to do is we're going to create a pointer using conditional formatting. We're basically saying point to the cell that matches the current interest rate up in my mortgage payment calculator model, so I know what to expect when I go to sign at the bank, and they're going to tell me this is going to be your payment over the next 15 years. Okay? So we're going to go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, okay? And we're going to use the equal to option. Again, we're applying this conditional formatting on all these cells at once. We're going to say, is my formula, is it equal to, I'm just going to click on F4. Is my current cell equal to F4? If it is, I'm going to use that default light red fill with dark red text and click OK. All right, that's telling me, oh, the current model up here, 3.875, corresponds to this row in my varying interest rate schedule. And you and I forgot to do. Let's go up here and click on that text up there. Click on Format Pattern. Let's come down and apply this to C9. There we go. That was easy. All right. I just kind of do things randomly, don't I? But here's the point. What if I go back here and change my interest rate to 3.5 and hit enter? Well, my pointer now changes to 3.5. I'm going to undo that. Okay, that's the point of the pointer. All right. Okay, and let's see here. F4 key. They're saying what happens if our interest rates go up to 4.125. Notice that all my calculations changed. My pointer changed, my total interest, my total cost, all that stuff just changed. My interest that I pay over time, everything changed. This is the beauty of an Excel model, is it calculates and recalculates instantly. What if I change my price to $530,000? Well, my payment's going to go up a little bit, isn't it? The amount of interest I'm going to pay is going to go up as well. You can see instantly what happens when we change stuff. Okay, let's change this back to 3.875. Oh, it says to return them to their original states. Why don't I just hit undo a couple times? Undo, undo. There we go. That was a lot easier. Okay. To set up a worksheet to print, and I'm on page 5 here, and we're kind of on the home stretch. All right, here we go. display the page layout tab, and we're going to go to the page setup dialog box launcher. That's the bottom right hand pointing guy down here. Okay, and it should take us to the page tab. Okay, and we're going to slide over to, let's see here, fit. And first of all, we're going to say we want to fit to 1 page wide, 1 page tall. We're going to force this onto 1 page. Very nice. Might change the orientation to landscape. They're not asking for that though. I'm just going to do that though. That's what I would do. If I'm going sideways on the page, it'll give me more room. Okay. I'm going to select landscape. Let's go over to sheet. Maybe we want to save on paint or on ink. So I'm going to say print this out in black and white, please. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's select C3 through F8. And maybe we want to just print out this particular part of our worksheet. Maybe we just want to just print out the mortgage payment calculator. I've got my page layout tab up here. Let's go click on print area and set print area. Let's go to my Backstage View, also known as File button, and go to Print. And when I go to Print Preview, there is that particular section that I've set as my item. I just want to print part of my worksheet. Okay, hit the Return button. If I want to get rid of my print area, click on Print Area and Clear Print Area. Okay. Page Setup dialog box launcher again, bottom right, page 5. Let's see here. They're saying go to the Sheet tab and get rid of black and white. Okay, that was fun. Sure, Excel prints in color on color printers. I would sure like to print on color. It's always nice to have color. Okay, click OK. C3 through F8 is still highlighted. And we're going to name this range. I'm going to come up here to my name box. So here's again where we can apply a named range to a group of cells. So I'm going to go up to my name box. Instead of calling that C3, I'm going to start typing in MORT, capital PMT. Mortgage payment. Hit enter. All right. And that range of cells is now known as mortgage payment. Hit enter to create the range name. Okay, page 6. Select the range B2 through M23. Whoa. That whole thing. Okay. And we're going to call this, instead of again spelling it all out, I'm just going to call it capital FINTOOLS, Financial Tools. And hit enter. Click off somewhere. Okay. Let's go back to my drop down arrow. Select Financial Tools. What if I want to print that piece out? File, Print. Print Active Sheet. Okay. In this case, I'm going to say Print Selection, which is going to be almost my active sheet. Print Selection. That's only going to print out what is selected, which you can see it's sized down just a little bit. I'm just printing out that particular area that I've selected. Okay. Alrighty, that's printing, that's putting in borders, that's the present value function, all that good stuff. Now, here we have this model. What if somebody comes in and messes around and messes up my formulas? Because in reality, there were only 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 5 cells in this worksheet you have to enter numbers into. The item name, the price, I suppose you could say the down payment, that would be 1, that's, yes, that's 3. And the rate and the term, that's actually 5 cells. So these 3 cells and these 2 cells are the only 5 cells in this worksheet that you will actually make changes to. The rest are dependent upon those cells. They're going to make calculations. So why don't we change this worksheet so if somebody tries to come along and mess with it, that it only allows them to make changes to those cells. Okay, so here we go. We're going to select cells D5 through D7, hold down your control key, and select F4, F5. Those 5 cells. Okay, right click on one of the ranges, say Format Cells, go over to your Protection tab, all right, and remove the check from the locked button. Unlock it. What you're doing is, first of all, you're specifying the cells you want to unprotect before you can protect the worksheet. So these are the 5 cells I want to unprotect. Okay, all right. Click OK. Let's go to the Review tab. Over here, we're going to say Protect Sheet. Protect worksheet and contents of locked cells. Now, if you want to, you can put a password in here. If you don't want anybody messing around, and then try not to undo your work. So you can password protect it so they can't unlock those cells. Okay? And make sure that there are check marks for those top 2 boxes there. Okay? Click OK. All right. You're like, well, what did we just do? Well, what if we come up here to our beginning balance up here in cell I5 and we say, well, our beginning balance is actually 500,000. Wait, oh, that's an error. Oh, okay, that's too bad. And what if we want to change our interest rate over here at 3% to 3.5? Oh, that's a mistake. I can't do that. Again, the protection is protecting someone from coming around and messing around. If they come along and say, well, I want to change the term to 10 years up here, well, they can do that. And then the calculations will adjust accordingly. And there's our zeros, by the way, that we talked about with our conditional formula up here. All right, let's undo that. So that's protection. So that leaves only those 5 cells being the ones that we can change. Okay, now hiding and unhiding a worksheet. Why would you want to do this? Well, when I was in industry, I would create these financial models, and I have this one worksheet where I would make doodles, I would write notes to myself, I would practice working with numbers. It was just kind of like my little own personal worksheet within a workbook that I didn't want anybody else really to see. It was important to me because I was using it as a tool to always, like, if I came back to it a month later, I kind of remind myself what I was doing. Or again, I'd have this place I could kind of experiment. So that's one reason why you would hide a worksheet is you're using it, but it's only for your use, and not the person getting the report. So in this case, let's say I want to hide, it says mortgage payment calculator. I don't know why I'd want to hide this, but let's just say that I did. Right click and say hide. I'm done with this. Oh shoot, where did it go? Okay, well if I want to unhide it, I just come back here to one of my sheet tabs, right click, unhide, there's mortgage payment calculator, and I can bring it back. Now hiding a workbook, I don't know if you don't want the boss looking over your shoulder, or it's like super secret or whatever. If somebody comes sneaking down next to your office cubicle and you're working on something super secret and important, you come over here to View tab, okay? And over here in the Windows group, I could say hide. Oh my goodness, where did it go? Got to get in my email there. That was fun. All right. Or I could come back here and click on View and hide, actually unhide, and there's my chapter 4 start file. That was pretty drastic, wasn't it? Woo! Hope that email wasn't private. Okay, all right, there you go. All right, and then this thing in bottom right, page 6 on enable background formula checking. Okay, this is in File and Options. File Options, Backstage View, Formulas. By the way, you might get tested periodically on some of these Backstage View options. Okay, and because click any box in the error checking rules area that does not contain a check mark that all error checking rules are enabled. Well, let's see here. It says enable background error checking. Indicate errors using this color. Okay. And where are my error checking rules? Enable background error checking. I think I've already got that. I think I'm good to go. Error checking rules. I'm just going to pause here. It says to come down here to make sure that all of your error checking rules are checked. It's like formulas referring to empty cells was not. Click OK. All right. Now there's going to be a few questions in SAM that might require a little bit of support. I made a list of them here. And hopefully, as you go through the practice exam, give it your best effort. You can come back later on and watch my review video on the practice exam for Chapter 4 SAM. Thanks for watching, and that would be your next step to work on the practice exam.